TOMz.
And we are so excited to take you guys on yet another adventure. We are going into the realm of robotics and automated systems.
Yes, so usually, look at Dala, I'm a robot in Dana, which is things that we read on books and saw on TV. But robots actually play a major role when it comes to our society. That's what we're going to be exploring.
We're going to answer all the questions that you guys have about robots, automated systems, is into that you do not understand. We are your Einstein.
So, I'm a robot. People think it's just those red, orange, green things. I'm a robots play major robot fits. I'm a robots are everywhere. Including I'm ATM. They play a major production line when it comes to manufacturing of vehicles. That's what drive I'm playing. So I'm a robots basically are everywhere.
Directly and indirectly, Robotics has played a massive role in shaping izwe esiphila kulona namhlanje. According to the Oxford Dictionary, robot yimshini that can perform a complicated series of tasks automatically. Futhi akwazi ukwenza izinto thina abantu esingeke sikwazi. Industrial sectors, who are the largest contingent of robot usage for commercial applications, utilize 6 main types of industrial robots. Robotics has come so far that we have self-driven cars and aircraft that can fly themselves with the need for a pilot.
Now, where we interact with you guys on our social media pages and Kumbule. For all the comments and questions, all you have to do is join the conversation. On Facebook, see TOMz, and on Twitter, see TOMz_SABC_1. So, Samila Sago social media pages and what questions and comments do you have about the episode of Yama Robots? We've got comments coming in from Utal Wando. Hey guys, I'm enjoying the show. Namhlanje lapo ebayi PE #SABC1_TOMz. Shout out to you. Got another one coming in from CJ Peterson. Hey TOMz, my question is, what is the significance of robots and how are they created and which environment is suitable for them? Well, stick around because we have all the answers to your questions. For all the questions and answers that you guys have for us, join the conversation on our social media pages. See TOMz_SABC_1 on Twitter and TOMz on Facebook. When it came to our questions. Cooley Chani, we're still at it again in the streets of Johannesburg. I'm we're all about robots. Right next to me is a young gentleman. Some my questions. What's up, guy?
I'm fine.
What's your name?
Junior.
Okay, Junior, I want to know, what is a robot?
It's a machine programmed to do something.
A robot is like an artificial intelligence built with mostly metal, but these days it's like there's more to it that goes into it. So it's basically just a machine.
Okay, have you ever seen one or used one before?
Nah, I haven't actually.
I have. I've seen one. I can't think of one live right now, but I've seen one definitely on TV. I've read about them. I don't think I've ever used one.
Okay, so I want to know from you, do you think the idea of us having robots was a good idea?
No.
Why?
Because robots make people lazy.
They assist in those mundane, repetitive tasks, that you don't want to do and that no one is really interested in and that are actually a risk.
Yeah.
So for instance, test dummies and things like that, like you can put a robot in a risky situation whereas a human would die.
So they do contribute to sustainability?
They do. That's a tricky one.
They're gonna take over, bruh. Like legit, they're gonna take over.
It's highly likely. Okay. It's highly likely, but ultimately humans have control.
Yeah.
We are the creators of these things and we can control them, but if we outdo ourselves, then we are at risk.
Interesting, I saw that teenagers on a mission is that with curious minds, curious enough to ask the questions that need to be asked. We are asking the questions, what is an automated system? What is a robot? And TV. But one thing we must understand is that robots actually exist in our daily lives, but they are still as cool as the ones we see on TV. Check this out.
Directly and indirectly, robotics isidlala indima enkulu kabi in shaping izwe esiphila kulona namhlanje. According to the Oxford Dictionary, robot yimshini ekwazi ukwenza a complicated series of tasks automatically, futhi enze izinto thina abantu esingakwazi ukuzenza. Cabanga nje. Robotics is a truly interdisciplinary field that draws from and contributes to many other sectors and industries. In fact, there are many technologies our existing namhlanje if it weren't for research and development into robotics. For example, inverted pendulums, segways, 3D scanning, and even unmanned aerial vehicles, drones, are technological developments that might not even exist if it was not for robotics research. The first mechanical automator or primitive robots akhiwa eChina as far back as 1000 BCA. Now lama roboti ebekwazi ukucula futhi aphinde adanse. Around 1495, Leonardo da Vinci designed a mechanical knight in armor which was able to sit, wave its arms, and move its head and mouth. Now this is one of the first verified documented examples of humanoid automation. Ngonyaka 1920, the actual word robot yaqala ukusetshenziswa kwi-play published by Carl Capek called Rosam's Universal Robots. In 1942, Isaac Asimov introduced the world to the 3 laws of robotics.
Yazi kwezinsuku singakwazi ukuthi robotics have come a very, very long way. Yabona ngoku imoto azidingi drivers. Kukho aircrafts that don't need pilots. They can fly themselves.
Most definitely, because in 2011, they created a humanoid robot, ebizwa Robonaut 2. So Robonaut 2 bafethu was there to actually assist astronauts and further advancements bafethu. Kahle bakalapayana ukuthi ashaye yabo moonwalk on space, ayenza repairs and everything bafethu that was hazardous to humans.
I highly doubt that it would moonwalk, but that would be awesome right. To see. Robonaut 2 and the potential for robots taking over the world. Please comment on our social media pages so we are going. Here we is, Mafetu, just like that, we are back on your screens. Namgelegele teenagers on a mission. Apaka SABC 1, where life and TV are one. We are getting our robot on in the life of automated systems and robotics.
Yes, most definitely. So it's with our experts in Namhlanje Bafetu. So Sabesino Dr. Rosman from the CSIR and the University of Witwatersrand. Also saying is about the insights of robots. How does the future look when it comes to robotics?
True that. And you want to eat robots and it's the red, the yellow, and the green one. You know, on the yellow pole?
Yeah.
So I'm curious to know if that is actually a robot.
You're about to be
check it out. Oh, are you serious?
Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is. It's your boy C-A-double-D-Y, pronounced Caddy, yet again on another mission. Today we're running the streets of Pretoria and the city touchdown is CSIR. So I'm trying to find out about the technology about 7 cyberfits when it comes to robotics. Without wasting any time, let's go get them. Hello, how are you doing?
Good, thanks. How are you?
I'm great. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here.
Thank you so much. So can you please tell us who you are, what do you do, and where are we exactly?
All right, I'm Benji. I'm a roboticist, so I'm someone who works with robots. And we're at the CSIR in the Mobile Intelligent Autonomous Systems Lab, which is the robotics lab here.
What exactly are robots and what kind of robots do you guys deal with here?
Okay, so that's a pretty broad question. And, you know, robots are anything that, if you've seen sci-fi, you've got all sorts of like cool robots that walk around, ranging to things that drive. So robots, it's a pretty general term for anything that is kind of like a computer that can take some information about the world, can think about it, and then can do something.
Okay.
So this might mean moving around, it might mean printing out some answers. It's a very general term, actually.
Yes. Okay, cool. So when I grew up, I knew that robots are just like made out of steel and they're just robots. So can you please tell us, how do they work? What kind of systems do you guys use? How are robots? Do they work via computer? What do you install in them? Do they have wires?
So in some sense, just think of it as a computer with wheels.
Okay.
Wheels and a camera, maybe.
Yes.
Right? So to a simple extent, you could look at your phone and treat this as a simple robot.
Yes.
It can't move around or anything, but It can see things through the camera, and you could process that and kind of pick out where faces are.
Yes.
And to some extent, that's a simple version of the systems we're looking at.
Okay.
Now, if you added wheels or arms or something like that, now it can start doing more interesting things.
Yes.
So there's a couple different aspects to robots. Usually we look at the hardware and the software side of it.
Okay.
In terms of the hardware, this is your wheels and arms and gears and cameras and all these pieces that come together. And then the software is the magic part. This is what makes them intelligent or be able to do interesting things.
Yes.
And this comes down to software that we usually program ourselves.
Okay.
That can actually process these inputs and affect the outputs that the robot has on the world.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about the technology behind automated systems and robots.
Right, so like there's several different pieces that come into this. There's kind of the body or the hardware of the system, and then the brain to an extent is like the software.
Okay.
So you get some people that care about building systems, and there you're putting wheels together and gears and all sorts of things like what might go into a car.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if you're trying to make it do interesting things, that's where the brain comes in. To me, that's the real magic.
Yes.
That's programming, that's treating it as a computer and getting it to think about the inputs that's coming in from the cameras and to make the wheels spin and the arms move and that sort of thing.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about the whole process of the technology. Do you guys put a robot and then you connect it to the computer and tell it what to do? Or is it on another level you just create the robots and you put everything inside the robot, you don't have to connect it to a computer? Tell us more about what other equipment you guys use to actually make this automated system work.
Right, so actually, yeah, it's all about connecting a computer to the robot. But traditionally what would happen is you'd connect it up in like your lab or factory and give it a whole lot of instructions that it then follows.
Yeah.
And then you'd deploy it in whatever environment you care about, and it just follows these instructions.
Okay.
But now we're trying to build more interesting systems that can learn from their experience, that can get better, and you can train them, or even get anybody who doesn't even know anything about robots to train them to be able to do new things and solve new problems.
Okay.
Namhlanje, amarobhothi amaningi asetshenziselwa ukwenza imisebenzi or tasks that involve repetitive actions. Eyokuqala, articulated. Now this robot design features rotary joints and can range from simple 2-joint structures to 10 or more joints. Okwesibili, ama-Cartesian. Cartesian robots have 3 liner joints that use the Cartesian coordinate system, X, Y, and Z. Okwesithathu siphethe i-cylindrical. Now leli robot leli has at least 1 rotary joint at the base and at least 1 prismatic joint to connect the links. Okwesine siphethe i-polar, also called spherical robots. In this configuration, ingalo is connected to the base with a twisting joint and a combination of 2 rotary joints and 1 liner joint. Okwehlanu siphethe i-SCARA, ejwayele ukusetshenziswa kuma-assembly applications. Now this selectively compliant arm for robotic assembly is primarily cylindrical in design. It features 2 parallel joints that provide compliance in 1 selective plane. Okwesithupha futhi nokugcina, ama-delta. Now these spider-like robots are built from joint parallelograms connected to a common base. Heavily used in ukudla, pharmaceutical, and electronic industries, this robot configuration is capable of delicate, precise movement.
Oh, guys, kuyisimangaliso ukubona ukuthi ama-robots are doing amazing things behind the scenes. I mean, from simple automated systems to large-scale manufacturing. Umsebenzi oyenzayo muhle kakhulu.
Ewe kakhulu. And with their almost superhuman capabilities, it's no wonder sizibuza bana, are they going to replace us ngelinye ilanga? It's a valid question. Okay, guys, we love your comments that are streaming down our social media pages. Please keep them going and sibuya ngemva kwevenkile.
Welcome back, bafethu. Siyajabula ukuthi ni supplement nathi khona la on your #1 channel SABC Mzansi for sure. Lesiqephe nisibukela ke bafethu sibiza nge-teenagers on a mission. So before we went to the ad break, bafethu sibonile how robots have become an essential part of many industries, bafethu, and are critical in meeting manufacturing demands of modern day life. Manje sifuna ukubona ukuthi ibuphi ubumnandi esinabo nalobu esizazoba nabo when it comes to robots.
Very true, Caddy. Check this out.
Yeah.
For our next bit of fun, we will be looking into the robots that have taken the toy stores and the manufacturing businesses by storm.
Are you sure you're not a robot? Check this out. How does the future look when it comes to robotics?
wow, there's just so many directions there. I think it's really exciting. I think we're going to have systems that understand people better, that understand the environments better, can help people more, give them better advice, assist them in tasks. You know, you want extra arms on your back that can reach out and help you as you're dropping something. You know, these are the kinds of situations that people really care about.
Okay, so why did you get into the field of robotics?
That's a great question. I actually got into it through computer games. I always wanted to build worlds and computer games. And then I realized you can actually do this in the real world. You can give instructions to things. You can give instructions to computers that make them do all sorts of amazing things. I mean, there's a lot of work now on robots that look more like humans. There's a lot of work on robots that are smarter, that are able to understand the context of different situations. Interact with things they haven't seen before, and really help out people in a whole lot of different tasks that people might be struggling with.
Yes. Do you think one day robots will take over humanity?
I think taking over the world is a strange thing. It kind of attributes some sort of malice to robots, and that's not the way we think about them. We think of them as ways to augment humans.
Okay.
In the same way that to some extent you could talk about cell phones have taken over the world, but they've actually made it better for us. We're able to communicate with each other over longer distances in better ways, and I think you'll see the same kinds of things with robotic technologies.
Okay, so what kind of science do you guys use here?
Really what we care about is trying to build autonomous systems, which is systems that can do things for themselves without human intervention.
Yes.
And this ranges from very simple things, again, if you think about your phone, from like being able to identify things in a picture or recognize whose voice it is when you're speaking, up to being able to maybe automate different kinds of assembly lines and production plants.
Yes. And for somebody at home who's actually watching the show and they actually want to get into the field of robotics and automated systems, how can they go about it?
There's a lot of ways in, but really through things like engineering and computer science. The two main things we care about are being pretty decent at maths and being interested in programming. And really it's about the passion. It's about saying, I can make a computer do anything. And you can do this with any kind of programming that you could do at home. But now you could just add some wheels to this and do more exciting things.
Okay. Indaba yethu iphelela lana bafethu. This is where we complete our mission. Namhlanje sifunde kabanzi about ama-robots bafethu. Siyabona ukuthi ama-robots are here to help us in the future, not take away anybody's job. If ufunde kabanzi, well done to you. Otherwise, sibiza nge-mission accomplished lena. Your boy CAWDY, pronounced Caddy, is out of here.
Ama-robots that are designed for entertaining, nokufundisa, come in many various shapes, sizes, and each is generally packed with some unique, fun, and exciting features. Amanye ke ama-robots akhelwe on what could be thought of as a closed system principle, whereby a robot has a specific physical design that serves a specific purpose and cannot be changed. Lokhu akusho ukuthi lama-robots lawa are any less functional. Quite the opposite, actually. Some of the simplest robots that are designed for edutainment are so simple at first glance, but are full of innovation and have multiple levels of capacity to be taught and to teach through stimulating excitement within the young learners that they were designed for. Did you know? More than 1 million industrial robots are now in use, with almost half of them operating in Japan. Two mass robots known as Spirit and Opportunity were designed and built to last kuphela amalanga awu-90. This unstoppable pair have since then logged 3 years of service en masse.
Unique to Mzansi Africa and many other parts of the African continent, sibiza traffic lights robots. But in fact, these are not robots, but examples of automated systems. And before they were created, we had human beings doing the job. Whoa, calm, calm, calm. Whoa, calm. And with the first traffic lights hitting Johannesburg in 1929 and in the following year in Durban 1930, we saw technology taking over. We're very thankful, but my question is, what is the future for automated systems such as robots? Masibone.
Ama-robots are here to actually boost the process of personalized learning. Or now again, the humanoid robots is already bonding with our students emhlabeni jikelele. It comes with important senses of natural interaction. And again, as kuluma about the movement, the speaking, the connecting, and everything else.
Nice. And you know how Forbes should add one more job to that list?
Yeah.
Housekeeping, Betunana. Because these cloud-connected home robots are taking the world by storm. They can be automatically systemated to do your chores for you, to cook for you, the whole works. And with their advancement, I see them having some speech comprehension and some human interaction, you know what I'm saying? Wow, it's gonna make our homes a better living space.
Yes. So, will robots take our jobs? Interesting question. For sure, umbuzo enhlaleni sibuza wona lo bafethu. While technology changes each and every day, and it does have an economic ramification. I mean, for instance, bafethu, asibhekeni driverless cars. Or siyazi ukuthi lana ama-cab drivers in the future are definitely going to have a problem. Kodwa siyazi ukuthi national intelligence bafethu is here to replace our tasks and not jobs. This creates a new market and also opens for our new businesses bafethu. Opportunities will be there. All we need to do is just educate ourselves and get more training.
True that, and on the topic of self-driving cars, although they still need some human intervention, those days are soon coming to a close. Kazi, I love how 10 years ago it was an idea that was never gonna happen, to might just happen, to definitely happening. And inkampani enye was a monopoly in this industry, creating these cars, but now many companies have joined in to create similar cars. Our future is looking very bright, and I can tell you now, by 2020, our public transportation is going to be a sight to see.
I can't wait. Now that was fresh and informative. I sifundeka banzi about ama-robots bafethu. Siyabona ukuthi azini akhona and they are here to stay. Azosinceda ngendlela eziningi in the future. If you have missed this episode or impitsha kuqeda ukungena, all you have to do umtshela ukuthi hambe ku www.sabceducation.co.za/TOMz for more info.
Very, very true. On Twitter, as always, we are TOMZ_SABC_1, and on Facebook, we are simply TOMz. If you guys find a particular interest, please do visit the Institution of Electricals and Electronics Engineers, where you can learn more about this amazing topic of robotics and automated systems.
I'm Fresh by Caddy.
Ubuntu_P on Instagram.
We'll see you next time.
We interview Major General Bolden from the US, who has been to space. We drink from his well of wisdom about space exploration and his experience in space. Tolagabanti about the scientific goals of the Mars exploration program, its implication for future science research. Tolagabanti about the science of space exploration. Check out the history of Mars exploration. We also look at what the future holds for Mars exploration. And remember to concentrate in order to answer the quiz.